Doing?
Good.
It's kind of gloomy. Yesterday's sunshine was pleasant and nice to see, but it's always sunshiny in WTRE studios, though.
It is.
The sun always shines
I will
here.
say I'm not as sunshiny as Emily is. Emily does a really good job. So
She is sunshiny. I bet
I
she gets it honestly.
I have to try to meet her
Yeah, you're
sunshininess
coming up
today.
to those
So
standards.
I am. That's some
Big
shoes
shoes
to
to
fill.
fill.
There you
Yeah,
go.
for
Yep.
sure. For sure.
So
Not saying she has big feet or anything. I mean,
yeah,
I don't.
yeah. I'll get a text from her.
Yeah. What do you mean telling people my feet are big?
So Lori, what's going on at the library?
Oh my gosh. There are so many things going on at the library. First and foremost, I think I want to brag about. I got a couple of staff members who have been very intrigued at the idea of holding an author fair. And so they are holding this author, and they have done all the planning. They come to me with, here's our ideas, and I'm like, yes, go run with it. And they are having an author fair in April, and it is for Indiana authors. They have 15 authors signed up as of yesterday,
Wow.
which is phenomenal. They ask each of those authors to provide the library with a copy of their book. So we're getting a copy of all of these artists' books. Some are children, some are young adults, some are adult. Um, and there may be nonfiction writers. I don't know
Yeah.
everyone.
Yeah.
But if you've ever lived in Indiana, or you're in Indiana now, you wrote in Indiana, whatever, you are invited to this local author fair. And they have set up some really nice like giveaways for the authors. It's a great place for that author to promote their book locally. I think they have room. They are thinking they have room for 25 people, and we're halfway over
That's
that now.
amazing.
It is. I'm so excited because that this is not something that I would have thought would have really gone over well. And I think that there's definitely a niche market for this. Like, we have a writers group that meets every month, and they have a really good turnout. And those people come, and they're learning how to write, how to edit, how to critique their own and others' writings, that kind of thing. And they love that. But this authors fair has come about with that. And so there's a nice little goodie bag for all the authors, and then there will be prizes for people who attend. But this is a great place for you to come in, meet some of the people who are writing in Indiana. If it's something that you're interested in as a reader, or if you're interested in as a future writer, or whatever your reason for wanting to attend is, it's a great time to come and see the different authors. But if you are an author and you're listening and you haven't heard about the Authors Fair, you should be able to find information about that on our social media. It is on our calendar, so go to our community events calendar and look at that. There should be something coming up on our website. I don't think it's up yet, that will link to the application for the Authors Fair. But I'm so, it's Jennifer, who is our historical librarian, works primarily with the Indiana Room, and then Karen, who is also one of my assistants and works in programming. They're the two who run the writers group, and so they've just been really excited about this, and I love it when staff members have ideas, and then they come in and they're so excited, and then they plan it and they do it, and it's very successful. And that's how things all happen at the library. Either someone in the community will say, gosh, I wish you'd do this, and then we figure out how to do it, or a staff member. And we don't limit the participation of our like our circulation desk staff or children's rooms. Like, everybody can have an idea. I
Yeah.
don't say, well, you're not in programming, so you can't do that. So if you have an idea at the library, then we're going to try to make it happen. Because I know when my son went, the youngest went away to college, he asked about a particular group. Did they have this on campus at Purdue? And the lady said to him, if we don't, and you can find 5 other people who are interested in that thing, you can start your group. We'll find you a teacher sponsor. And that has always stuck in my head, because I feel like in a community the size of Decatur County, there are 5 people who are interested in really just about anything.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
anything that is of interest to 5 people is something, that the library would want to consider doing. I never would have thought the author fair would have been something that people were really interested in, but it I'm wrong, and I'm always glad when my staff proves me wrong. I'm like, yay, yay for you for doing the thing. It's most of our programming just comes from that kind of communication with staff members and also with our community. And so we're always looking for ways. That's really our main goal at the library. We still have people who say, well, libraries are just for books. And, I have to always argue that point because, yes, we are about books. We still have books. We buy books. We have all the new bestsellers. We're working, to make sure that people who want print books get print books. But there's so much more to every public library across the United States.
One of the things too is, I'm a board member at the library, and one of the things that's interesting is each month the director provides us with just a running sheet of stats for the month. And as important as the books are, we see 3 to 4 times as many people coming through the doors. And it's programming, it's hanging out with their friends, it's, hey, let's do a study group, it's genealogy. I mean,
it's a little bit of everything. We have people who come in to meet with a client of some sort. We have people who are working collaboratively on business things that need a space to go. It's amazing to me, the participation, and then it's also amazing to me the number of times people say, well, I didn't know you did that. And all I'll just say is, if you think something should be happening in your community, check your library first. And I'm not talking just ours. I'm talking about libraries across the board. Because if it's not happening, that puts that little bug in somebody's ear that says, maybe this is something that someone would appreciate. And so it's so much fun to see what we can do. And one of those things that I think is really, libraries have been doing this for a while. We're a little late to the game. But that, I think, better late than never, number one. But also sometimes it's good to see things like the little bugs worked out of things before.
Absolutely.
So we're starting a library of things. And I think that's such a funny name because what that means is things that you might need in your life. Now, we do have some things already. We've been doing hotspots for a really long time. That's part of a library of things. That means it's not a book. It's not related to reading. It's not, a program in the building, but so we've had those. We've been checking out board games now for a while, and that has been very successful. Very successful. That I'm very happy with the way that's turning out. And so we're going to just continue and increase our library of things. And so we'll be having, we have a walker. So you fall and break your leg and the doctor says, I need you to be non-weight bearing and you need a walker for 6 weeks. Well, those things are expensive.
Oh, yeah.
And so check one out at the library for 6 weeks. You're a new gardener. And you don't want to go out and buy all the supplies to start a little flower garden. You can rent a little gardening kit. Or I say rent, because that's what everyone always says, borrow a gardening kit from the library. Test it out. See what you like. See what you don't like. Get that little plot going. And then move on from there. Trying to think of the ideas to have a lot of different things. So cake pans. You've got a 5-year-old girl and she's like, Mama, I really want a Barbie birthday cake. Well, cake pans are expensive.
Oh, my goodness. We have so many cake pans for pumpkin cake pans and heart cake pans.
Let me just put a little thing in here for that. If you have things like that are in good shape and you're like, I really don't want to keep this anymore, because how many times do you need a Barbie cake pan, right? If you want to make a donation of those things to the library, those would go into our library of things.
Hey, my birthday was Sunday. I take a Barbie cake.
My birthday was on the 3rd, so we're January babies. That means that we have a special connection, and we're awesome.
Yeah, and we're the same age.
Are we the same age?
36.
30. Yes, that is the age that I am. I was going to say there is no way you're as old as I am. That cannot be possible. So 36. I like that. So but like maybe you don't want to buy a Barbie cake pan for your husband's 36th birthday, because you don't. What are you going to do with it after that?
Yeah.
And so we'll have those kinds of things at the library. you want to start baking cookies, but you don't know what kind of cookie cutters you really want, or you just want to do a special event. Again, you want to, for Christmas next year, you want to do poinsettia shaped cookies, and you don't want to go buy a poinsettia. So
That's a good
so
point.
those are the
Yeah.
kinds of things that we can loan out and check out to people. Even some really high ticket items, we will have like a leaf blower, a power washer, those kinds of things.
So if I come in the library, are these gonna be set up somewhere to look at, or do I just talk to a librarian? What do I
So
do?
we are creating. If you've been to the library, you will know that we have moved our computer lab. We now have kind of an open expanse wall that's back in that area. It has tables against it now.
Is that where the computers used
Where
to
the
be?
computers used
Okay.
to be,
Yep.
back in that area. So we are in the process of purchasing like Rubbermaid storage
Yeah.
shelving, so that we can contain these library of
Okay.
things. And so when you come in, there will be a picture of what it is, and that will have the barcode, just like a book, for you to check out. And then you'll bring it up to the front desk. We'll check it out. We'll get it out of the cabinet for you. You'll take it home. You'll use it. Make sure all the pieces are back in it. Everything's back in the appropriate spots. It's clean. Bring it back, and we check it in, and you're good to go. And I know the next question people are going, well, what if I break something? What if I lose something? Well, we understand normal wear and tear. So, if it's something that's a normal wear and tear, then
Yeah.
and we do this with board games and hotspots and everything else, then there may or may not be a charge, but it wouldn't be a charge for the full thing.
Yeah.
If you don't bring it back, obviously we're going to charge the entire amount, until it either comes back in or you pay for it.
Yeah.
You wouldn't be able to use your card after that until it was done. But if there's, a breakage that, you dropped it off the roof because you were pressure washing your third
Yeah.
story, then there will be charges
Yeah.
associated with those things. But we will try to keep it. I mean, the idea is not to punish people. The idea is to offer people things that they need for short
Yeah.
windows of time. I mean, who needs to buy and store a pressure washer?
Yeah.
If you live someplace, sometimes people live in apartments and they don't have room to store these kinds of things,
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
they need them for one reason or another. So if there are things that you think should be in our library of things, we'd love to know that. If there are things, like I said, that you have that you might like to donate, someone did just donate. One of our staff members had the little walkers with wheels that have like a seat on them. So
Yeah.
after you walk, you can turn around and sit down.
Yeah.
We have one of those
Those
that
are
will be in our
expensive.
library. Yes. And you'd often only need them for a short
Yeah.
window of time.
My stepdad, when he got out of the hospital, he had to have one, and
Oh, I'm glad he's out.
I'm trying to think. Oh my gosh! I mean, that was probably close to $200.
Yeah,
we ended
and
up spending.
you don't need it forever.
Yeah.
And so it's a great way. And libraries across the United States have been doing. Started out in a lot of the larger libraries because, of course, there's more money for
Yeah.
larger libraries, that kind of thing. And our library of things will, it will evolve slowly because we have
Yeah.
to budget for it. I mean, people understand that.
Yeah.
Everybody has to budget. And so, but I'm really excited about the opportunity to offer those kinds of things to our community. The economy is changing. Things are very expensive now. I want people to feel like the library is a place that can help them in whatever capacity they need help. So, we do have our little free pantry, and we have our clothing, and it's going to be very cold over the weekend. And so, if you are a person who's been going through things, the first of the
Yeah.
year, that's that clean out time, and you have blankets or coats or boots, particularly for adults, we do have a clothing closet there at the library, on the ramp, where you can put those items for people to take.
No, it's like a Rubbermaid two-door.
Yes,
That's what I thought.
it's a
Okay.
Rubbermaid container that is kind of weatherproof. I mean, it's
Yeah.
under the awning,
Yeah.
but and so we see things come and go out of there frequently, and I think sometimes people will say, well, we don't have that big a homeless problem in Greensburg, so why do we need that? And I always kind of challenge people to think outside of that real intense need, that is a real intense need, right?
Yeah.
So, but there are people who are seriously just keeping their heat turned down enough to keep the pipes from freezing. They're cold, but they're trying to save money on their heating bill. or people
But they are
who
not labeled as
they're not
unhoused.
they're not unhoused,
Yeah.
which is a much better word, or homeless,
Yes.
or any of that. They're simply
Yeah.
doing their best to try to keep their grocery prices down, or to keep their heat bills down, and that kind of thing. And so warm clothing, people do have to wear their coats in the house.
Hmm.
um, so that those kinds of things, libraries have become more of a community resource than they ever
Absolutely.
have been.
Yeah.
And I don't see that changing.
And I think we've watched that develop. And I hate to go back to these years, but I really feel like COVID changed the way things was.
COVID was really horrible,
Yes.
but it gave us so much information about how to actually help people.
Yes.
It in all specters. I mean, like all ranges of businesses. From libraries to community health organizations, schools, essential businesses. Like we learned so much
Hmm.
that is really beneficial to our communities, and so I feel like that. Um, like that really bad thing that happened gave us gold in some ways, and it taught us a lot about like the bookmobile driver told me the other day that she sees I can't, well, wouldn't say where, but can't remember anyway. But someone told her that she is often the only conversation that person has in
Oh.
the entire week.
And if it's
That's
with
it.
Jenny, you're just lucky.
If you get to talk to Jenny,
I just want to hang out with Jenny myself.
I keep telling her, Jenny, we need to have dinner because I love that woman. She is a true treasure.
Absolutely.
And I wish everyone had her attitude. I wish everyone had her love of people. And she tells me every day, I just love people.
Yeah.
We go to the parades, like the fall festival parade, some of those other things, and people are screaming. It's just like
Oh,
a
yeah.
rock star.
Oh, yeah.
People are screaming, Miss
People love her.
Jenny, Miss Jenny, Miss Bookmobile Lady.
Yep.
Um, but that is a very true, really sad fact, is that there are people out there who have no communication, and that, yes, she's providing reading material, which is great. That's what we're there for. But she's also providing a service that no one else can, because there's no one else coming to provide that service. She just needs to be that person that you can talk to for a few minutes.
The other thing, too, the library that I think is so important, it is the only facility, no, unless the warming shelter is open, it is the only facility that you could walk in, grab a book, and sit in the heat.
Absolutely. Or in the cool.
Yeah, in the cool.
And we have water.
Yes.
And there are nice, clean bathrooms, and the warming side. With that said, I know the warming center has criteria
Yeah.
for when they are open,
Yeah.
but not too long ago it was above the temperature
Yeah.
criteria wise, but the wind was really strong. I locked myself out of the house that day.
Oh,
And I
shoot.
I waited 10 minutes for my husband to come open the door for me. 10 minutes. And all I could think in that entire 10-minute time was, someone is living in this.
Yeah.
It was so cold, and I was so miserable for that. 10 minutes, like first world problems, right? Like 10 minutes, I was so cold. But that, I kept thinking to myself, come to the library.
Yeah.
Just come get warm. And I know that, sometimes getting across town is an issue. There are those kinds of things. But the library is it is the only place that I can think of that is open routinely in a scheduled way, where we don't expect you to give us any money. If you come in and you've got a $4,000 fine on your card, nobody's going to ask you to leave the building.
Yeah.
You're not going to be able to check anything out, but that doesn't mean you can't read while
Yeah.
you're there. We have books that you can take without having a library card.
Yeah.
We have computers that you can use for free. We have free Wi-Fi, so if you want to do something on your phone. So there are a lot of reasons why the library is literally the best kept secret. I keep trying to tell people because I don't want it to be a secret anymore. But I will say, and you mentioned that you were on the board, And I don't know that we ever, and this sounds like I'm now sucking up to you, Chris, and I'm not,
I'll take it.
but you'll take it. I don't know that we give our board enough credit either, because we've got this board of people who give us permission, literally, who say, we trust you and we want you to make good decisions for your community. How can we support you? How can we help you? What do you need? You guys show up for meetings once a month. You're not paid. Somebody asked me the other day what we paid our board members, and I said, What? We don't pay our board members. They volunteer.
I've been asked the same question.
Yeah, and it's.
I've been asked if I made full-time pay.
No. No. It's. I would say that in the realm of monetary payment, it's a thankless job.
Yeah.
But in the amount of rewards that I think you can see when you know that you've had a very instrumental part in creating what is happening in the community with the library, I think it's nothing but rewards.
My payment's always like the special things, like the Sally Cram Memorial Walk, like going to that.
Yes.
We had a employee and board Christmas, and it was so neat to be able to talk to all the staff. And our library is, I'm trying to think of the right word. It is, I want to say blessed, but it's not the right word, with the staff we have. Like, it's such a different age groups, different sex, different backgrounds, different experiences. You have Steve, who I think was born and raised in the library.
I'm pretty sure he got delivered in a book box.
Yeah, and he's just never, like, it is just such a neat group of people.
It really is. And we are, whatever that word, we're fortunate, we're whatever, but but part of that is a cultivation,
Yes.
a cultivation of values, a cultivation of ethics and standards that we want not only to give our public, our
Yeah.
community, but what we want to give each other. We all have such a need to be present for one another in that building. And like any other business, there are going to be, not everybody's going to love everybody all the time. I mean, it's like one big family, right? You're always going to have your little whatevers, but we truly do care about each other in ways that go beyond coworker.
Yeah.
And I don't know that you're going to find that in many other businesses, but I also not sure you're going to find it in all libraries, because I think we've worked really hard to cultivate that, and we hire with that in mind.
So I have a question.
Yes.
And we didn't talk about this beforehand, so this is totally just throwing it out there.
Okay.
So yesterday, I saw on Facebook that on the 25th of every month, starting now, there'll be a book sale for 25 cents an item, and it includes DVDs, paperbacks, and hardbacks.
And I'm going to give Karen a huge, big shout out. My staff, Chris, is amazing. They have these ideas. They're not afraid to come and say, I've got this idea. What do you think about it? So we have a new bookshelf, a new book sale corner. We are constantly having to weed books off the shelf. We take them off because I have to put the new ones on. And I wish, like in Harry Potter world, that it would just expand. The building would just expand to keep whatever we need. So we put those out for sale. And then that money gets filtered back into our budget. Karen said, she had this idea that on 2/5, she would do a 25-cent sale. And then she was like, but that's just once a year. It would be really cool if we could do like a 2/5 sale. So every month on the 25th, we're selling whatever's on that book sale shelf for a quarter, 25. And so it was just a thought she had. And I said, Karen, we have nothing to lose and everything to gain. Let's give it a shot and see what happens.
Yeah.
So, and there are people who really, yes, you can borrow books from the library for free. And sometimes I laugh because I'm like, this book has never been checked out or hasn't been checked out in 5 years. I'm taking it off the shelf, and then it'll be one of the first ones people snatch up. But the difference is some people do like to own the book.
Oh, my wife will read. Oh, Brianna, if you're listening, I'm really not sorry. She will read a book, she'll read an audiobook. She'll not read an audiobook. She'll read
It's reading.
what
Oh,
is that?
the synopsis on
Yeah.
the audiobook?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So she will read all that. She'll listen to an audiobook or she'll get on her Kindle and read a book. And she'll get done with it. And then I'll get a notification and say, well, there's been a book purchased on your Amazon. And I'll be like, what? What?
Didn't you just
I'm
finish that
I'm
book?
like, you were just reading that book. Yeah. I'm like, what? Why are you ordering it? She's like, I want the book. I'm like, but you'll never read it again. And she's like, I know, but I read it and I want the book.
There is I was that person for a really long time, and then I realized, oh, I work in a library, and libraries are always going to be around, and I can just get the book from the library. But there is a certain amount of joy and pleasure that come from.
Yep.
Some people collect knickknacks. Some people collect music, video, albums or whatever. Some people just want that book there in their presence to view it. And I get it. I
And
get that.
every couple months I get a, hey, you need to build me another bookshelf. So her friend got her this little stamp, and it says this book belongs to Brianna's book collection or something.
Right. So if she loans it out,
Yeah,
she gets it
yeah.
back.
Yeah. Oh
So
yeah.
she has her own little tiny lending library.
Yeah.
I admire her for
I'll
that.
say though, I feel sorry for people who borrow from her, because she gets it back and she'll be like, why is the spine so bad? Why is you bent the pages?
I sort of feel like we should just hire her at the library. I feel like she's got, the main
Oh,
things
she-
like dog-earing pages. My
Yeah.
granddaughter was reading a book, not from our library, but from another library where they live, and she had dog-eared the page. She's 9. She and I had a very long conversation about how those books get paid for
Yeah.
and why we don't you want to dog-ear your own books? That's fine, but do not. That is
Yeah.
vandalizing a library book.
Yeah.
And so she was like, okay, Nana, I get it.
So, Lori, as always, it's been great talking to you. We're getting ready to do some country gold
Yeah,
and listen to some music.
absolutely. We didn't talk about any programming, and that's fine because I think sometimes there are more important
Yeah.
things. You can always find out about our programming. You can visit our website, greensburglibrary.org. You can look at our Facebook page, Instagram. We also have TikTok. And we post a lot of those programs like on Facebook, so you can find out about those. If you are a person who is interested in getting an electronic email from us once a month at the end of the month with all the next programs, you can sign up on our webpage. If you are a person who just wants to come in and look at our big bulletin board and take pictures of what we're doing, you can do that too. There's a wealth of ways. You can pick up the phone and say, hey, I wondered what kind of adult programs were coming up or what's coming up for 6-year-olds, and somebody at the library will tell you. 812-663-2826, greensburglibrary.org, or come in and give us a call, or if you want to know more about the Library of Things or the author fair or anything that's coming up, give us a call. We'll talk to you about it.
As always, Lori,
Thank
it's great
you.
talking to you. All right, everybody, we're going to listen to some music, and then I'll be back with you here in just a bit with some more studio guests.